Welcome and thank you for listening in on this presentation. My name is Craig Stevens, and I want to show you exactly how my marketing strategy, known as Blue Ocean Strategy, will help you and your practice become industry leaders. I'm not talking about the plastic surgery industry. I'm talking about an entirely new industry that I help you design, one in which you have zero competition at all from other plastic surgeons. With a Blue Ocean strategy in place, you aren't forced to compete with other practices in your area any longer. Sound impossible? It does at first, but once you learn how to achieve a blue ocean, you realize why the strategy has successfully generated millions of dollars in revenues for the businesses that have used it. First off, I want to talk about the differences between what we call a blue ocean and a red ocean. Now, I've already mentioned how a practice sailing on a blue ocean can improve everything from your quality of customers and your customers' experiences to your service list and bottom line. But what exactly is a red ocean? This comparison chart shows the differences between both red and blue ocean strategies. The red ocean strategy may look familiar, and it should. Your practice and the practices around you are in this red ocean right now. In a red ocean strategy, companies compete in an existing market space, selling very similar services and products with only token distinctions such as price, speed, and quality. In a red ocean, companies seek out ways to beat their competition by better exploiting the existing demand for that product or service. Another way to put it is most companies exist in a red ocean of bloody competition. Marketing your practice becomes all about me too. I do liposuction too. I sell cheap Botox services too. That has some serious consequences, namely that you become part of a chorus of other doctors and thus indistinguishable from the next. These problems don't exist in a blue ocean. In a blue ocean, your practice creates a brand, a kind of personality that, following the metaphor of a chorus, is your chance at a solo act. As your marketer, I am not interested in trying to take larger shares of an already existing market. I want to capture an entire new market, one devoted entirely to you and no one else. Blue oceans create markets rather than force you to survive in markets that are oversaturated. Blue oceans are not anomalies. They can be created when we apply the right kind of strategies to your practice. Initially, these strategies revolve around understanding your market's current state of play. What are other plastic surgeons doing that you aren't? Is their service list specific, or do they do everything? Who is getting the lion's share of clients and why? The more you know about your competition, the more you can nurture a new and exciting kind of practice that will work outside the box of your competitors. The core behind these blue ocean methods and the essence of what I can do for your practice is called the 4-action framework. Behind every successful application of the blue ocean strategy are 4 essential questions, and each one must be answered for a practice to escape from its current position in the red ocean. To achieve a blue ocean, we must ask, which of the factors that the industry takes for granted should be eliminated? For you as a doctor, this could mean looking at the all too common cheap services and dropping them entirely, which in turn allows room for better, higher-paying services. Which factors should be reduced well below the industry's standard? Plastic surgeons and other doctors often rely heavily on the more traditional forms of marketing like television and radio. Expenditures on such outlets could be reduced for new marketing sources. Which factors should be raised well above the industry's standard? As you eliminate certain services from your practice, you focus solely on the ones you are great at. At the same time, you create a name for yourself of being the absolute best doctor to see when a certain service needs to be done. Of course, many other factors can be raised above industry standards as well. Maybe your team is best at customer service or following up with past patients. Another way to phrase this question is, what do you want to be a superstar at? What do you want to be known for more than anything else? Which factors should be created that the industry has never offered? This is where I help you think outside the box. By looking outside the plastic surgeon industry into other industries, we can find ways to offer value for your customers that was never there before and that no one else is offering in the industry. I have an example which describes this process perfectly. Most of you have heard of Cirque du Soleil. At a time when the common circus was in dramatic decline, Cirque du Soleil managed to generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and vastly increase interest and turnout simply by using what is known as the 4-action framework. First, Cirque du Soleil made the decision to eliminate common industry features such as star performers, animal shows, aisle concession sales, and the three rings popularized by circuses like Barnum and Bailey. At the same time, they created themes for their shows, added multiple productions, and marketed to a more upscale market with refined environments and artistic music and dance. The slapstick humor of the circus was reduced, as well as the thrill and danger associated with these circuses. In its place, Cirque du Soleil raised a unique venue that had no precedent in any circus before it. When these things came into place, something happened to Cirque du Soleil. They were no longer competing with other circuses. They had created their own genre between the theater and the circus, a new market space that no one had thus far been able to compete with them on. Are you starting to see the difference between what I offer and what your average marketer will offer? Any other marketer will simply focus on a red ocean. They are all intent upon how you can compete in a market that's already saturated with competition. But that kind of marketing just doesn't work. I reinvent plastic surgeons so that their practice is beyond such competition. I work to discover ways to make you different, and then I market those differences with well-placed press releases, powerful video testimonial from past clients, and social media monitoring. Right, let's move on to our next segment, which is based on how we can formulate Blue Ocean strategy and take it from theory to practice. This is quite easy to accomplish with the right framework in place. As I mentioned earlier, going head-to-head is exactly what other marketers are going to tell you needs to happen. You have to go head-to-head with your competitors on Google's front page. You have to go head-to-head with them on services, yada, yada, yada. It's a bunch of baloney. Instead of just competing within your industry, I help you reconstruct the boundaries that surround it. This means that, instead of focusing on rival practices, I help you look across to alternative industries to see what they are doing that customers in your industry might appreciate. Instead of focusing on a competitive position within your strategic group of practices, I offer targeted methods of building up your brand image and making you a superstar and an industry visionary. Instead of focusing on how you can better serve your buyer group, I devise ways to redefine the industry's buyer group entirely and get people interested in your services that wouldn't otherwise have been. This also means that instead of simply saying you do X service better or offer Y service cheaper, I find ways to complement the service offerings you already have in inventive new ways. And lastly, instead of going with the flow and being led around by other industry leaders, I help you become a pioneer and industry leader yourself. You're the one shaping eternal trends now and not the one having to go along with them. We're almost there. Just a couple more important points I need to mention. First, regarding your customers, there are 3 kinds that I will help you identify and target with my marketing strategies. Tier 1 is soon-to-be non-customers who are at the edge of your market and not satisfied with it. We need to reel these customers back in by offering services that get them excited about working with you. I help you find out what it is these customers want, and then we find ways of giving it to them. Tier 2 is comprised of refusing non-customers who have consciously chosen against entering your market. We need to find out what it is that turns them off to plastic surgery. Once we know this, we can work around their frustrations and focus on how it can better their lives. The final tier is full of unexplored non-customers who are in markets unassociated with your own. This is a goldmine of potential new customers that, with the right service offering and the right pitch, could send them flocking to you in droves. All of this matters because it helps you visualize large groups of potential clients that the industry as it stands now is not trying to capture. Now, imagine if you started a dialogue with these people, asking them what it is that stops them from joining the industry. If you knew that, and you pitched your unique offer directly to them, you could potentially acquire hundreds of new clients. My marketing methods do just that and more. Blue Ocean is just the strategy that I use to help your practice grow and thrive in the city where you live. It takes some out-of-the-box thinking, but if you're willing to go beyond Google or television commercials and into the realm of social media, then I not only promise that I can get you there, but I guarantee that I will get you talked about. I know how to get people excited about you and what you offer. I help you generate buzz. And throughout this entire process, you don't have to do a thing. You develop a presence online without having to log into Facebook or Twitter to do so. We want to thank you for watching our presentation on how Blue Ocean Strategy can help your practice overcome the red ocean of competition. For more information on how Blue Ocean can help you, we invite you to contact our founder and CEO, Craig Stevens.